Now, what do you see? Obviously, we're going through a pandemic now. We haven't really been working. What do you see the future of fitness and training being like? Do you see that go back to this sort of one-on-one in-person model, or do you think it's changed forever? Like, what are your thoughts?
Personally, I feel like it's gonna be changed forever. I feel like a chunk of anyone that was going to the gym is not going to go back because they've either given up and aren't doing anything right now, or they've gotten some sort of routine going, be it they like got some equipment for themselves, or they've got some online videos or something like that and they've made a routine out of it. And I think they're very likely to stick with that and stay at home.
Yeah, especially if
But
they're seeing changes.
yeah, so it's like the pandemic's over, but they're like, well, I've been working out and this is working fine for me. Why would I go back to the gym?
Yeah,
There's going to be some chunk, like I know that's my feelings. Whether it's going to be a really big chunk or a small chunk of people, like I don't know. Obviously, I have no way of telling. But then, there's for sure going to be probably the majority, whether it's a big majority or not, of people that are going to go back to gyms when they're open because there's things that you just can't recreate, like atmosphere. And
yeah,
let's be honest, a lot of people go to the gym for the view, you know?
yeah. Or get out of the house or whatever, right? Social.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I forget about that one because it doesn't bother me. Working out in my basement. But yeah, that's true. Just having somewhere else to go. But I
Yeah,
think it's going to be changed. I think there's going to be a little bit more online training, a little bit more people that'll stay and work out at home.
yeah, I think so. Actually, speaking to some other trainers, some people feel like yes, it's changed, but they feel like people have been gaining weight and stuff during this time, and they feel like that might be an impetus for them to get into the gym when it's back and open. It might be the case, I think, but it'll definitely be a slow process for people to start returning. Everything we built up in terms of momentum, I think we're gonna have to start from scratch again.
Yeah, definitely. I think the little bit we were back at the gym before it closed down again, we saw that because how many of the regulars and stuff, like they got soft and whatever because they weren't exercising, and
Mhm.
who knows how they were eating. Like I already saw it when I was only back at the gym for like 2 weeks before it shut down again. But all the regulars that were there and probably there like 4, 5, 6 times a week, you could already tell the difference in their bodies because they hadn't been in a gym in 6 months.
Yeah.
So you're
Now,
right. That could definitely fuel people coming back.
yeah, definitely. I think I'm on the same page as you. And now we've actually seen some of our colleagues and other people in the industry sort of decide that this is no longer for them, which is, I guess, sad to see that people go. But what do you think it takes for someone to keep it going? Like, what would keep somebody in the industry for longer than the average, which is a year and a half? I said a stat the other day. Trainers typically are in the industry for about a year and a half on average.
Jeez, that's sad.
Isn't it?
It's not. It's not that surprising because how many people have we seen come and go, and that's just one gym. But like, holy shit, that's bad.
What do you think it'll take for people to stay in it? Like, was it within? Is it something internal to those people? And if so, what are those things? Or what would have to change, I guess, in the industry to help some of these trainers keep going?
I think it's definitely an internal thing because, especially with this industry, man, people move, they get busy with work, with kids, school starts and stops. Like there's always so vacations during either during the summer or during the holidays. There's always so many things that get people to leave or take a break or whatever. So there's almost always such highs and lows in this industry during the year, even over the years. Like you can keep your clients for 2 or 3, 4 years, and then it's like you'll lose a chunk of them, and then oh crap, now I got to replace those 3 that were coming in, 2, 3, 4 times a week. You've got to like what you're doing, because if you're motivated by money, I don't think that this is the right industry for you, unless you're just going to be a complete sellout and just lie to people, tell them what they want, not get them any results. Because yeah, you've got to like what you're doing to stay in it long term. Because even if there is good money in it, especially in person, I've seen it doesn't last like forever. You've always got to. This is an industry. You've always got to keep putting work in. You can't get lazy with your clients, because if you stop doing well, if your quality of training goes down, whether it's in person or keeping up with them on the weekends, making sure they're doing their homework, they're going to see that, and they're not going to want to keep up with it. So you've got to be on most of the time. So yeah, you've got to really love, I think you got to love training in general. Like, I think it helps, especially for me personally, if you like training yourself. Like, I love it. It's one of my biggest outlets. I don't think I've ever taken more than 2 weeks off, and that's been forced because of vacations, not vacations I wanted to go on. That helps a lot. And you've gotta want to help people, because at the end of the day, that's what this is. So it's got a real low barrier to entry, which is why I think a lot of trainers get started, and then they have this wrong perception of, it's easy money and it's not hard to do. And then when it gets slow and gets tough, they get out.
Yeah.
So
I don't think they realize, the hours outside of the actual sessions themselves that good coaches and good trainers actually put in. I think if someone is just in the session, they're not really planning, they can maybe come up with stuff on the top of their head. And they're not spending much time outside, but I think the good.
Yeah, that only lasts. You can only fly by the seat of your pants so long.
Yeah, and I think most people don't realize how much time is actually spent outside of that hour with the client. Coordinating schedule, planning, teaching, coaching, all those things that maybe are not seen in the public, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, my wife, I've been married ever since I started training, and my wife still doesn't understand. Like, if you're working, say, 25 hours of actual training a week, not only are you having other stuff to do, because like you said, coordinating schedules, that's a huge one, man. Like, especially with some people, that is just tiresome. That takes a lot of time. That's a really good point. And, doing their programming, having that built out, and then even just the hours in the gym. If you want to work 25 hours of training, you probably need to be in that building for 35, 40 hours a week, just waiting around. Because, unless you get, always call them unicorns, where they'll come in at like dead times, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. You got busy mornings and you got busy evenings.
Yeah, you have to work when everyone else is off, though.
So basically, yeah. And then you got weekend.